Welcome back to The Woman and the Well. My name is Nicole, aka Nikki. I am so happy to have you tuned into a next episode of Woman and the Well. I pray that wherever you are right now, there is a peace upon your life that passeth all understanding. Once again, thank you for tuning in. And today, I am going to be sharing with you personal testimony, and it's all about encounter at the well. And what I mean by that, encounter at the well, is that, all of us at some point in our lives, we have been through a situation or we've experienced something that has brought us to a low place. Something that has made us feel an indescribable emotional pain. It's a place where, for example, it could be a death in the family, a sickness, a loss of a job, a child who is not acting right, marriage, or even waiting for marriage. And it's like, there's nothing else that you can do, and there's nothing that no one can help you with to overcome that situation. So you find your place in what is considered like a wilderness, a desert. You're all alone with nowhere else to turn, and you either just shut down, you cry, you shout, you just block out everything. But whatever it is, it's painful. It's painful, and you're all alone. And then all of a sudden, one day or in a moment, something changes to bring about peace or a resolution or a solution to that issue. All of a sudden, you feel like, you can now move on. And that is a place of the well. So from journeying through the wilderness and the desert, you come upon this well where you can now have water. You can now refresh yourself, renew yourself, and just rejuvenate and move on. So that is what an encounter at the well is like. And, sharing now my personal testimony of one of my well experiences, because in life, there's not just one well experience and then that's it. It's a journey. It's a journey, and you're going to go through an oasis, and then you're going to meet up on a desert, then you're going to go through an oasis again, and it's just an ongoing process. But the important thing is, how do you proceed through this journey, whether you're in your oasis or your desert? So for me, one of my journeys, Woman and the Well, it is not just something that was just pulled out. It was a calling on my life, because I am actually a woman at the well. You know that John 4 Samaritan woman who Jesus met and told her, asked her how, told her about herself, basically. I'm not going to go through it because episode 1 did that. But for me, I am that woman at the well because I myself, I have been married 4 times and divorced 4 times, right? I have been on a journey through life where a lot of people would probably find it shameful or taboo or something that must be hidden. But for me, I always say I have no regrets for my journey. I have no regrets for my past. Yes, like I said, I've been married 4 times to 4 different men, and I've been divorced 4 times from all of those men. I'm not gonna go into how it started. For that, I'm just gonna do a shameless plug here. My book, Woman and the Well, it does begin the story of my childhood, and the next books, which are in the making, will then proceed throughout my life's journey. So if you've not read my book already, then shameless plug, this can be found on Amazon, or you can go to www.watwfellowship.com and purchase that book there. So, as I was saying, my journey obviously began in childhood, which is basically the foundation of my life and which basically guided me forward through adulthood. Most of my adult life, it's not picture perfect. It's not the most accepted by society. I have not been a saint. None of us have, but we all have different stories. I have never done drugs. I do not want to ever do drugs. I have never smoked weed. I have never smoked. There are a lot of things that I've not done. I've not done any crimes. I've had my first traffic ticket last year at the age of 49. Yeah, one of those. After a while, you stop counting, all right? But yes, I most recently last year had my very, very first traffic ticket. So, I'm not a monster. However, if you want to talk about promiscuity, if that's the word, I was promiscuous. I was, you name it, I've done it. The only thing I've not done, like I've said, I've not done drugs, and I've never done a threesome. But I have been through that where even in marriage, I've been unfaithful and so forth. And it's like, at that point, you are just living life. You are just doing what you feel like doing at that time. You don't see any sort of repercussions. Maybe you do, but you do it anyways, right? And after a while, it will take a toll on you. It will bring you to a place where you've got to really sit and think and know that a change must come somehow, some way. And sometimes it doesn't happen that easily, where you just come and sit and say, looking back, maybe I should stop, putting myself out there, being so, some people would say easy or whatever. No, it doesn't always happen like that. For me, I received a crash course. For me, it all made a full 180 turn about 3 years ago, coming out of my last long-term relationship. It was a very, very toxic relationship. I'm not gonna go into details again. All of details will be in my future books, so that's something for you guys to look forward to, but I'm just gonna give the general gist. So that relationship was very toxic, very, very, very toxic. And looking back now where I am at, I know that there was a lot in play there, a lot of spiritual things happening there. First of all, that relationship did not start out on the best start. It did not have the best start. And that was doomed to have a horrible ending, which it did. And throughout that 5 years, it was just 5 years of toxic verbal abuse, physical abuse, you name it, alcohol, sexual immorality, all of that. And it came to a point for me where God actually put me in a position where it's like, okay, from this night, literally this night, you're gonna either choose this or you're gonna choose me. What are you going to do? What are you going to do, my daughter? I love you. I cherish you. I've watched you for the last 40 plus years doing it on your own. But tonight, you have to make a choice. Which is it? Choose life with me or possible death by the hands of man. And that, for me, was the point where I had to make that choice as to, okay, this life journey, how do I want it to end? How do I, Nicole, want my life to end? And what is the best route of getting there to that end? What would be the best route? When we're planning even a vacation, we choose the best route. We don't just think, okay, we're gonna hop on a plane. We're gonna figure out which is the cheaper way, which airline is best, how much luggage do we have to carry, right? So for me, the choice was, how am I going to make the rest of my journey in life? And I'm not gonna say that, yeah, by the morning it was all perfect, it was all fine and dandy, and I started hearing, harps and angels singing and all of that, and I was just like Mary Poppins, just like, ooh, no. I was not floating like Mary Poppins in the air and all of that, but I knew that my journey from that moment had to change. It had to change, and it's like, who am I going to choose to walk that journey with? Am I going to continue choosing man, literally, or am I going to choose God, my Father, my Creator, the one who knows me, the one who knows every hair numbered on my head? I don't even know how many locks I have got, but my Father can tell the length and the number, right? So that is when I chose to trust God, to choose to look at God instead of myself, choosing to come into alignment with His word instead of being influenced by my own feelings, my own needs, my own, dare I say, sexual desires. All of that, I had to make a choice. It was not easy. I'm not gonna sit here and say it was easy, like I said, but I had to make that choice. And that is what I did at that point. When I was at the well and I met God there, I can tell you, I knew it was God. I knew it was God. It's hard to explain the exact encounter, but you just know that some presence is there, and that presence is enough for you to lean on, to trust, and to move forward. And so this happened in, around very early 2023 onwards, and it was a process. And I can tell you, and I can testify that it has been worth it. It has been worth it. Since then, I have not had any sexual encounters at all. I have not drank one drip of alcohol. I used to party. That's the other thing. I used to party. I used to drink. Anybody who knows, I was there. I had friends that at midnight, 1 o'clock, it's like that's when the party is starting, and I am up, getting dressed, heading out, right? But I don't miss those things. I do not miss those things. And why? Because when you come to Christ, you are a new creature, you are a new creation. All things are passed away, and behold, all things have become new. And no matter what people want to say about, the Christian life being boring and, oh, you don't do this or what, trust me, it is not boring at all. And so that is just a summary of my own personal testimony. And just to let you know as well that there are encounters in the Bible as well. You've got Jacob and Moses, who were outcast in society, and when they were on the run, that's when they met their wives at a well. Then you have the Samaritan woman, and then you have Hagar, who again was an outcast. She had a child with a married man, and it was in the desert that an angel met her, and she was able to rejuvenate, refresh, revive, and continue life as best as possible. So I just want to say to you, choose Christ. Matthew 11, I think, 28 says, "Come unto me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Double check that reference. But yes, Christ always has an open invitation. Always has an open invitation for you. And so you just need to go to him, trust him, move on, whether you're having an encounter at the well or not. Just choose Christ always. Thank you once again for tuning in. I pray that you have been blessed, and I look forward to sharing with you in future episodes. Thank you. God bless.